Hey there, it's Joseph, and welcome back to the YouTube channel dedicated to San Miguel de Allende's secrets. Today we're going to be talking about some Hollywood virgins. As always, if you need more information, feel free to click any of the buttons and links there in the description box, including one out to Amazon.com that has all the best-selling books in the San Miguel de Allende Secrets series for sale. For years now, I've been attending a bi-weekly class of local painters that have met for over the last 2 decades to paint images of the virgins, saints, and such. Part of what has always fascinated me is the students' belief that since no one knows what Mary or the early saints look like, you've complete artistic freedom to paint them as you see appropriate. Which gave me an idea. Namely, why not take Mary and a handful of early saints and face model them after women of the last century known for their beauty and having the same name? Not intended to be a joke or disrespectful, but another way of drawing attention to early accomplished women in paintings with women that were famously accomplished in the era with photography. My first attempt was St. Veronica, the gal infamous for being brave enough to enter a crowd full of people who didn't like Jesus and making a man she didn't know even more comfortable during his march to death. In return, he left his facial image on her veil. Nothing else was really known about Veronica, not even her name, as Veronica is simply from the Latin word for veil. Veronica Lake was a 1940s film noir siren best remembered for her peekaboo hairstyle covering half her face. Her hair was so popular, factories made war supplies with female employees asked Veronica Lake to change her hairstyle to prevent more vision-impaired work casualties. St. Hedwig is an interesting local image that is universally confused in art for her niece, St. Elizabeth of Hungary. Hedwig was the first royal to unite Poland. Following the king's death, she lived as a nun, but never became one, so she could keep control over queenly finances. The model for St. Hedwig's face is Hedy Lamarr, that in addition to being a mid-century movie star, was a mathematics genius, developing the radio technology to help the Allies win the war. Her discoveries are what enabled Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to come to fruition. Her face was considered the most symmetrical ever and was featured on early computer drawing software CorelDRAW until she sued for payment. Mary, Jesus' mother, needs no introduction, being the driving force behind making Mexico's history and culture more feminine than you'll find elsewhere. Tallulah Bankhead had to make her reputation on the London stage before she could muster her success in America. She was never cast well by the studios, and her movie career was not spectacular. Her stage career, however, was. As for her life, that's where her greatest talent lay. Her style, her wisecrack, laden with irreligious wit and delivered in her famous husky drawl, blew her reputation out of all proportion. Surely, there have been a lot of lovely Marys in the last century. Mary Pickford, Mary Miles Minter, Mary Astor, Mary Poppins. But it was Tallulah that, before becoming a legend, was always encouraged to change her name to Mary Bankhead. The moniker was easy to remember and fit on a marquee better than the multisyllabic, mellifluous Tallulah. She refused. Later in life, after becoming a legend, Tallulah heard an ad for Prell shampoo where she could squeeze Tallulah, the bottle of Prell shampoo, and she'd bubble up. Furious, she took Prell to court under the pretense that had her name been Mary, the jingle could apply any Mary of fame. Being the only Tallulah, famous or not, the ad was directed towards her, and she deserved compensation. Tallulah won yet again for not being a Mary. Remember, you can use any image to portray a saint or a virgin, as long as it helps you reflect on making your own life more kind, or at least more fun. As always, feel free to click the subscribe button below and get nearly daily notifications of new videos as they come out here on the YouTube channel dedicated to San Miguel de Allende Secrets.